The giant space station called Nexus Prima floated in the darkness between stars. It was bigger than any moon and filled with beings from across the galaxy. Today was special. Today, the humans would meet the elder races for the first time. Ambassador Kang Daeho walked down the long hallway toward the Great Council chamber. His black suit was neat and clean. Behind him walked 5 other humans from Earth. They all looked nervous but excited. This was the biggest day in human history. Remember, Daeho said quietly to his team, we represent all of humanity today. Stay calm and follow my lead. The massive doors opened with a soft hiss. The council chamber was huge. The ceiling went up so high that Daeho could barely see the top. Strange lights floated in the air, casting colored shadows everywhere. In the center of the room sat 3 groups of alien beings. These were the elder races, the oldest and most powerful species in the galaxy. The first group looked like tall, thin ghosts made of white light. They had no solid bodies, just floating shapes that moved like smoke in the wind. These were the Veiltar. They had ruled parts of the galaxy for over 50,000 years. The second group looked like walking crystals. Their bodies were made of clear, colored stone that sparkled under the lights. Some were blue, others were green or red. These were the Keth Mori. They were even older than the Veiltar. The third group was the strangest. They looked like giant insects walking on 2 legs. Their bodies were covered in hard, shiny shells. Multiple eyes covered their heads and their mouths clicked when they spoke. These were the hive speakers. All 3 races had one thing in common. They were all much older and more advanced than humans. A voice spoke from the floating lights above. Welcome, humans of Earth. I am the voice of the Council. You have come to request membership in our galactic community. Daeho stepped forward and bowed. Yes, honored Council. We come in peace, seeking friendship and knowledge. One of the crystal beings, called Christ Maven, made a sound like breaking glass. Your species is young. You have only just learned to travel between stars. What can you offer us? We offer ourselves, Daeho replied. Our knowledge, our skills, and our friendship. A ghostly Veiltar named Silthara floated closer. Tell us about your world. What makes your species special? Daeho smiled. This was the easy part. Earth is a beautiful world with many different environments. We have learned to live in all of them. We have cities, farms, and wild places. We share our world with many other species. Other species? Clicked one of the hive speakers, called Buzzaketh. You mean you trade with other intelligent races on your world? No, Daeho said, still smiling. We share our world with animals. Many different kinds. Some live in our homes with us as companions. The 3 alien races looked at each other. Companion animals were not unknown in the galaxy, but they were rare. Most intelligent species lived alone, or only with their own kind. These companions, Silthara asked, are they small creatures? Harmless? Some are small, Daeho agreed, but others are quite large. We have many different companion species. Behind him, Li Bin was getting restless. He was young and excited to be here. He whispered to his friend, I can't wait to get home and walk my dog Max. He's probably missing me. The chamber fell completely silent. Christ Maven's crystal body began to glow brighter. Did he say, dog? The translation devices around the room began working frantically. Lights blinked and strange sounds filled the air as the machines tried to understand the word. Translation uncertain, announced a mechanical voice. Possible meanings, small companion creature, domestic servant, or wolf-type predator. Every alien in the chamber turned to stare at Li Bin. The young man realized he had said something wrong, but he didn't understand what. Buzzketh's multiple eyes all focused on Daeho. Ambassador, please explain this word dog to us. Daeho felt sweat on his forehead. This was not going as planned. A dog is, well, they are companions that live with us. They are friendly and loyal. The translation device suggests they are related to wolves, Silthara said, her voice becoming colder. Wolves are apex predators. They hunt and kill other animals for food. Well, yes, Daeho admitted. Dogs did come from wolves thousands of years ago, but they are different now. They live with us peacefully. The crystal being Christmaven was now glowing so brightly that it hurt to look at him. You keep predators in your homes? They're not predators anymore, Li Bin said, trying to help. Max is the sweetest dog ever. He sleeps on my bed and plays with children. All the dogs in my neighborhood are friendly. This made things much worse. Multiple predators? Buzzketh clicked rapidly. In one area, living with your young? This makes no sense, Silthara whispered to the other Veiltar. How do they survive? Why don't these dogs hunt them? Deho tried to explain. They don't hunt us because we take care of them. We feed them and give them homes. In return, they protect us and keep us company. They love us. Love? Christmaven's voice sounded like glass breaking. Predators cannot love, they only hunt. But that's not true, said Dr. Park So-young, stepping forward. She was the team's scientist. Our dogs do love us. They have emotions just like we do. They get happy when we come home. They get sad when we leave. They play with us and comfort us when we're upset. The three elder races began talking among themselves in their own languages. The humans could not understand what they were saying, but they could tell the aliens were very upset. Finally, the voice of the council spoke again. Humans of Earth, this information is disturbing. We must study your world more carefully before we can make any decisions about membership. But we're peaceful people, Deho protested. We only want to be friends. Any species that can control apex predators, Buzzketh clicked, is potentially very dangerous. Silthara floated higher into the air. We will need to see proof of these claims. Send us all information about these companion animals immediately. And we will need to understand, Christmaven added, how you have survived sharing your world with such creatures. The session was over. The humans were escorted out of the chamber, leaving the elder races to discuss what they had learned. As they walked back to their ship, Li Bin looked worried. Did I mess up? I just mentioned Max. Deho patted his shoulder. It's not your fault. I think we just learned something important about our new neighbors. They're more afraid of our pets than we thought possible. Dr. Park So-young shook her head. Wait until they learn about cats. Back in the council chamber, the three elder races were already accessing Earth's databases, trying to understand what kind of species they were dealing with. What they would find would shock them even more than dogs. The humans had no idea that their simple love for animals would terrify the most powerful beings in the galaxy. 3 days had passed since the first meeting. Dr. Park So-young sat in her small room on the space station, looking at her computer screen. She had been called to an emergency meeting with the elder races. They wanted to know more about Earth's animals. So-young was nervous. She was a scientist who studied animals, but she had never expected her work to become so important for all of humanity. A soft knock came at her door. Dr. Park, it's time, said Ambassador Deho. So-young took a deep breath and gathered her files. She had prepared a presentation about Earth's companion animals. She thought it would be simple to explain. She was wrong. The council chamber looked different today. The lights were dimmer, and the three elder races sat much closer to the center. They looked tense and worried. Dr. Park So-young, announced the voice of the council, you will explain to us about these creatures you call pets. So-young walked to the center of the room. A large holographic display appeared in the air above her head. She touched her control pad and the first image appeared. This is a hamster, she said. The image showed a small, fuzzy brown animal sitting in someone's hands. They are very small and gentle. Many human children keep them as first pets. The three alien races looked at the image. They seemed to relax a little. The hamster looked harmless. And this is a goldfish, So-young continued. The next image showed orange fish swimming in a clear bowl. They live in water and are very peaceful. Silthara, the ghostly Veiltar, floated closer. These creatures are acceptable, they pose no threat. So-young smiled and moved to the next image. We also keep birds. The hologram showed a bright blue and yellow parrot sitting on a human's shoulder. Birds can fly, noted Christmaven, the crystal being. But they are small, still acceptable. So Young felt confident now. The aliens seemed to understand these normal pets. She moved to the next section of her presentation. Now I'll show you our most common companions, she said, touching her control pad. The image changed to show a large German Shepherd dog playing in a park. The dog was running and catching a ball that a human had thrown. Every alien in the chamber froze. The dog in the image was huge, much bigger than the hamster or bird. Its teeth were visible as it ran, and its powerful muscles moved under its fur. To the aliens, it looked like a terrifying predator. This is Kim Tae-woo playing with his dog Rocky, So Young explained. They do this every day in the park near his home. Buzzketh, the insect-like hive speaker, began clicking rapidly. Several of the smaller hive speaker drones behind him started shaking and fell over. The creature is massive, Silthera whispered. Look at those teeth, those claws. But Rocky is very gentle, So Young said quickly. Watch this. The image changed to show the same dog lying on a couch. A small human child, maybe 5 years old, was sleeping with her head on the dog's back. The dog was perfectly still, protecting the child's sleep. The crystal being Christmaven began glowing so brightly that other aliens had to look away. A predator, guarding a human child? This is impossible. It's not impossible, So Young said. It's normal. Dogs protect human families. They love children especially. She showed more images. Dogs walking beside humans on streets. Dogs sitting patiently while children played with their ears. Dogs bringing toys to their human families. You said these creatures came from wolves. Buzzketh clicked, his multiple eyes all focused on the images. Our records show that wolves are apex predators. They hunt in packs. They kill large prey. Yes, thousands of years ago, So Young agreed. But humans and wolves learned to work together. Over many generations, wolves became dogs. They changed to be better companions for us. Changed how? Silthara demanded. So Young touched her control pad again. The hologram now showed dozens of different dog breeds. Big dogs, small dogs, fluffy dogs, smooth dogs, dogs of every color and size. We helped them become what they are today, So Young explained. We bred them to be friendly, loyal, and helpful. Some dogs help blind humans walk safely. Some dogs find lost people. Some dogs just provide love and friendship. The aliens stared at the images in complete silence. You deliberately changed a predator species? Christmaven's voice sounded like breaking glass. You made them into what you wanted? We worked together, So Young corrected. The wolves that became dogs wanted to be with humans too. It was not forced, but the aliens weren't listening to that part. They were focused on something else entirely. Genetic manipulation. Buzzketh clicked to the other hive speakers. They altered apex predators through selective breeding. For thousands of years, Silthera added, her ghostly form flickering with fear. This was a long-term plan. So Young realized the aliens were misunderstanding everything. No, you don't understand. It wasn't a plan. It just happened naturally as we became friends with them. She tried to explain more, but made things worse. We also have cats, she said, showing new images. The hologram displayed a house cat sitting in a sunny window. It looked small and peaceful, cleaning its fur with its tongue. Cats are smaller than dogs, So Young said. They're very independent, but also loving companions. Then she made a terrible mistake. She showed a video of a cat hunting. The image showed a house cat catching a mouse in someone's backyard. The cat moved like lightning, using perfect predator instincts to capture its prey. They hunt, Buzzkeith observed, his voice filled with horror. Well, yes, cats are natural hunters, So Young admitted. But they only hunt small animals like mice and rats. They help keep our homes clean of pests. So you keep two different types of predators, Silthera said slowly. Large pack hunters that you call dogs, and small solitary hunters that you call cats. Both living in your homes, Christmaven added. Both with access to your young. Both modified by your species, over thousands of years, Buzzketh finished. So Young felt the presentation falling apart. But they're not dangerous to us. Look at this. She showed a video of an old human woman sitting in a chair. A large dog lay at her feet while two cats slept in her lap. All the animals were completely relaxed and peaceful. This is Mrs. Hong Mija, So Young explained. She's 78 years old and lives alone with her pets. They take care of each other. The aliens looked at the image of the elderly human surrounded by predators, and their fear grew even stronger. An elderly human, Silthera whispered, defenseless and weak, alone with multiple predators. And she's alive, Christmaven observed. Not only alive, but the predators are protecting her. This level of control over apex predators, Buzzaketh clicked rapidly, suggests abilities we cannot comprehend. So Young realized she was making everything worse. Every example of human-animal friendship was being seen as proof of human power over deadly creatures. Council members, she tried one more time. These animals are our friends, they're family to us. We love them and they love us back. But the aliens were no longer listening. They were talking among themselves in their own languages, their voices filled with fear and suspicion. The voice of the council finally spoke. Dr. Park, this information is deeply disturbing. We need time to process what you have shown us. As So Young was escorted out of the chamber, she could hear the aliens continuing to discuss what they had learned. She had wanted to show them how wonderful human-animal relationships were. Instead, she had convinced three of the most powerful races in the galaxy that humans were terrifyingly skilled at controlling apex predators. The worst part was, she hadn't even mentioned the really impressive animals yet. Security Chief Cho Woo-jin was having the worst week of his life. The elder races had sent him an urgent message. They wanted every single piece of information about humans and animals. Everything. They want what? Ambassador Daeho asked when Woo-jin showed him the request. Complete files on all human-animal relationships. Woo-jin read from his tablet. They want videos, pictures, scientific studies, news reports, and personal stories. They want it all. Daeho rubbed his forehead. This is getting out of control. What are they so afraid of? I don't think they're just afraid anymore, Woo-jin replied. I think they're terrified. 3 hours later, Woo-jin was back in the council chamber. This time, all three elder races had brought their top experts. The room was filled with floating crystals, ghostly forms, and clicking insects. Chief Cho, announced the voice of the council, present your findings. Woo-jin activated the main display. These are the files you requested. I should warn you, there's a lot of information. Show us everything, demanded Silthera, the Veiltar leader. The first file opened. It showed a news report from Earth about a man named Lee Min-ho who lived in Alaska. The video showed him playing with 3 large wolves in his backyard. These are not dogs, observed Christmaven, the crystal being. These are actual wolves. Correct, Woo-jin confirmed. Mr. Lee rescued these wolves when they were babies. Their mother had died. He raised them himself. The video showed Lee Min-ho feeding the wolves by hand. The massive predators were gentle with him, licking his face and following him around like pet dogs. Several Hive speaker drones collapsed again. He lives with wild wolves? Buzzketh clicked in disbelief. Yes, and this isn't unusual, Woo-jin said, opening more files. Here's a woman in Russia who has a pet bear. The new video showed An Soo-jin, a Korean woman who had moved to Siberia. She was hugging a massive brown bear like it was a teddy bear. The bear was gentle with her, playing and rolling around in the snow. Bears are among the most dangerous predators on most worlds, Silthera whispered. How is she still alive? The bear loves her, Woo-jin explained. She found him as a baby and raised him. Now they're best friends. More files opened automatically. Each one showed more impossible relationships between humans and deadly animals. A man swimming in the ocean with great white sharks, the massive predators swimming peacefully around him. A woman in Africa living with a pride of lions, the big cats treating her like part of their family. A family in Australia who had adopted a crocodile that now lived in their backyard pool. This cannot be real, Christmaven said, his crystal body flickering with stress. These creatures should be hunting and eating these humans. But they're not, Woo-jin pointed out. Look at this next file. The display showed Dr. Yang Mie, a veterinarian from Seoul. She was in a large enclosure surrounded by tigers. The huge cats were lying around her like giant house cats, purring as she petted them. Dr. Yang works at a wildlife sanctuary, Woojin explained. She takes care of rescued tigers and other big cats. They trust her completely. Tigers, Buzzketh clicked rapidly, are solitary apex predators. They don't form social bonds. They do with humans, Woojin said. He showed more files. Humans, living with wolves, bears, big cats, sharks, crocodiles, and dozens of other dangerous predators. In every case, the animals were calm, friendly, and protective of their human companions. How many humans do this? Silthera asked. Millions, Woojin replied. These are just the famous cases. Many humans have unusual animal companions. The aliens fell silent processing this information. Then Woojin made it worse. I should also mention that humans have been doing this for a very long time. Here are some historical files. The display showed ancient cave paintings of humans hunting alongside wolves, Egyptian art showing humans with cats and birds. Roman. Mosaics of people playing with lions. This behavior goes back thousands of years, Woojin continued. Humans have always formed bonds with other species. But why? Christmaven asked. What do humans gain from keeping dangerous predators? Woojin thought about how to explain. Companionship, love, protection, help with work, many reasons. Show. Us the work part, demanded Silthera. New files opened. Videos of humans working with animals in ways that amazed the aliens. Dogs helping police officers catch criminals. Horses carrying humans into battle. Dolphins helping human divers underwater. Eagles hunting alongside human falconers. You use predators as tools? Buzzketh observed. Not tools, Woojin corrected. Partners. They choose to help us. Choose? Silthera's voice became very cold. Predators don't choose to help prey species. But humans aren't prey to these animals. Woojin explained. We're family. He showed a video that made the aliens even more confused. A small human child, maybe 3 years old, was playing in a yard with a German shepherd dog that was bigger than the child. The dog was being incredibly gentle, letting the child climb on its back and pull its ears. Your young are safe with these predators? Christmaven asked. Safer than they would be without them, Woojin confirmed. Dogs especially love human children. They protect them. This makes no biological sense, Buzzketh clicked. Predators should see small humans as easy prey. Not if they're family, Woojin said. He opened the final set of files. These showed the most shocking thing of all. These are breeding programs, he explained. Humans have created hundreds of different types of dogs for different purposes. The display showed tiny chihuahuas that could fit in a person's hand, and massive Great Danes that were taller than most humans when standing on their back legs. You modified wolves into all of these forms? Silthera asked. Over thousands of years, yes, Woojin confirmed. Some are bred to be gentle with children. Some are bred to guard homes. Some are bred just to be beautiful companions. Selective breeding, Christmaven whispered. Genetic modification through controlled reproduction. You created an army, Buzzketh realized. Hundreds of millions of modified predators, each type designed for specific purposes. They're not an army, Woojin protested. They're pets, family members. But the aliens weren't listening. They were looking at the data in a completely different way. Each human family has access to trained predators, Silthera observed. The predators are loyal to individual humans, not to human government, Christmaven added, and humans have been breeding these predator armies for thousands of years. Buzzketh finished. The three elder races began talking among themselves again. Woojin could tell they were becoming more frightened, not less. Council members, he tried to explain. These animals are not weapons. They're beloved companions. Humans love them like family. Love, Silthera repeated. You keep using that word. Predators cannot love. But they do, Woojin insisted. Human love changed them. It made them better. Or, Buzzaketh clicked ominously, human manipulation made them into something else, entirely. The session ended with the aliens more worried than ever. As Wu Jin left the chamber, he heard them discussing defense plans and security measures. He had tried to show them how wonderful human-animal relationships were. Instead, he had convinced them that humans were master manipulators who had spent thousands of years creating loyal armies of apex predators. And he still hadn't told them about dolphins, elephants, or octopuses. The situation was getting much worse. Ambassador Shin Jaemin had been called to an emergency meeting. The situation was getting worse every day. The elder races were now talking about humans like they were dangerous monsters. Ambassador, said his assistant, Commander Ryu Hana, the council is asking very strange questions. What kind of questions? Jaemin asked. They want to know if keeping predators is part of our military training. They think it's a government program to create super soldiers. Jaemin sighed deeply. This is getting out of control. The council chamber was different today. The three elder races had built barriers between themselves and the human section. Armed guards floated near the ceiling. They were treating humans like dangerous enemies. Ambassador Shin, announced the voice of the council, we need answers about your predator domestication program. There is no program, Jaemin replied firmly. Humans keep pets because we want to. It's a personal choice. This answer made things much worse. Silthara, the ghostly Veiltar, moved closer to her barrier. You mean individual humans decide to adopt apex predators without government permission? Yes, Jaemin confirmed. In most places on Earth, humans can choose what animals they want to keep as pets. Even children? Asked Christamaven, the crystal being. Commander Ryu Hana stepped forward. Yes, even children. Many kids get their first pet when they're very young. It teaches them to be responsible and caring. The aliens looked at each other in complete horror. Human. Children, Buzzketh clicked rapidly. Make independent decisions to live with predators? Small predators usually, Hana explained. Hamsters, rabbits, cats, small dogs, but yes, they choose their own pets. Without adult supervision? Silthara asked. Adults watch them at first, Jaemin said, but children learn to take care of their pets by themselves. It's normal. The three elder races began talking among themselves in their own languages. The humans could hear fear and confusion in their voices. We need to understand your culture better, Christamaven finally said. Show us how your society views these relationships. Cultural attaché Baisun Ho came forward with his presentation files. I brought examples of human art, music, and stories about animals. The first image showed a famous painting of a girl with her dog. The dog was sitting patiently while the girl painted its picture. Both looked happy and peaceful. This is considered beautiful in human culture, Sunho explained. More art appeared, sculptures of humans and horses, paintings of families with their pets, photographs of people hugging various animals. You celebrate these relationships, Silthara observed. Of course, Sunho replied. The bond between humans and animals is one of our most treasured things. He played a song for them, a simple melody about a boy and his dog going on adventures together. The lyrics talked about friendship, loyalty, and love. Your music praises living with predators, Buzzketh noted. We have thousands of songs about animals, Sunho confirmed. They're very popular. Then he showed them movies. Films where dogs saved human families from danger. Stories where cats help solve mysteries. Adventures where humans and dolphins work together underwater. These are fantasy stories? Christamaven asked hopefully. Some are based on real events, Sunho admitted. Many are just entertainment, but they show how we think about animals. The aliens watched in growing alarm as the movies showed humans and animals as equal partners, facing dangers together and protecting each other. In your entertainment, Silthara said slowly, humans and predators are portrayed as friends? Best friends, Sunho confirmed. Heroes who never give up on each other. And young humans watch these stories? Buzzcath asked. They're especially popular with children, Sunho said proudly. Kids love stories about animal friends. This was the worst thing he could have said. You train your young, Maven realized, to see predators as desirable companions. It's not training, Jamin protested. It's just culture. But the aliens were seeing it differently. To them it looked like humans used art, music, and stories to program their children to want relationships with dangerous animals. Show us more, demanded Silthara. Sunho showed them books written for human children. Stories about brave dogs, clever cats, and loyal horses. Every story showed animals helping humans and humans helping animals. These books teach children that predators are safe? Buzzcath clicked. They teach children that animals can be friends, Sunho corrected. He showed them toys next, stuffed animals that looked like dogs, cats, bears, and lions. Human children played with these toys, pretending to take care of them. Your young practice caring for predators, Maven observed, before they get real ones. It's just play, Hana said, but she was starting to understand how bad this looked to the aliens. The final part of the presentation was the worst. Sunho showed them social media posts from Earth. Millions of humans sharing pictures and videos of their pets online. Cute puppies sleeping in baby cribs. Cats sitting on keyboards while humans worked. Children riding on the backs of big dogs. Families taking their pets on vacation. Billions of humans, Silthara whispered, all living with predators. And they share these images to encourage others, Buzzcath realized. It's called social media, Sunho explained. Humans like to show their pets to friends and family. Recruitment, Maven said firmly. You use these images to recruit more humans into the Predator program. It's not a program, Jamin shouted, losing his patience. Humans just love animals. We think they're cute and fun and wonderful. But his anger only made the aliens more suspicious. Emotional manipulation, Silthara noted. You use positive emotions to overcome natural survival instincts. The three elder races huddled together, whispering in their alien languages. Council members, Jamin tried one more time. Please understand. Humans and animals are friends because we choose to be friends. There's no secret plan, no hidden purpose. We just love each other. Love, repeated Buzzcath. This emotion you keep mentioning. Yes, Jamin said hopefully. Love is why we keep pets. Love is why they stay with us. Love is what makes it work. The aliens looked at him with what might have been pity. Ambassador, Silthara said gently. Apex predators cannot feel love. Only intelligent species can experience such complex emotions. But that's not true, Hana protested. Animals do feel love. They feel happiness, sadness, fear, excitement, just like we do. Impossible, Maven stated. You are projecting human emotions onto simple creatures. Or, Buzzcath added ominously, you have somehow given them artificial emotions to ensure their loyalty. The humans stared at the aliens in disbelief. The elder races couldn't understand that animals had real feelings. To them, every sign of animal love looked like human mind control. We need time to process this information, announced the voice of the council. This session is ended. As the humans left the chamber, they could hear the aliens discussing defense strategies and containment protocols. They think we're monsters, Hana said quietly. They think we're worse than monsters, Jamin replied. They think we're monsters, who can control other monsters. Behind them, the elder races were already making plans to limit human contact with the rest of the galaxy. They had decided that any species capable of mass predator manipulation was too dangerous to be allowed. Free movement among civilized worlds. The humans had no idea how close they were to being quarantined forever. Everything changed because of a small fluffy dog named Captain. Handa-san was only 8 years old. Her father worked as a junior diplomat on the space station. She wasn't supposed to be in the important areas, but she had gotten lost looking for the bathroom. Captain was with her because he was her emotional support dog. Dasam got very nervous around strangers, and Captain helped her feel safe. He was a corgi, small, friendly, and covered in golden fur. Dasam was trying to find her way back to her room when she heard loud voices coming from the council chamber. The big doors were open, and she could see the strange alien beings inside. They looked upset and scared. "Daddy?" she called out, seeing her father near the back of the room. Everyone in the chamber turned to look at her. 3 different alien races. Dozens of guards and several human diplomats all stared at the small girl in the doorway. Captain sensed that his human was nervous. He stepped in front of Dasam and sat down, like he had been trained to do. His tail wagged slowly as he looked around the room. The aliens stared at the scene in complete silence. Here was a tiny human child, alone with what they considered a wolf descendant. The predator was alert and watching the room, clearly ready to protect the child from any threat. "Dasam," her father called quietly. "Come here slowly." But Dasam was more curious than scared now. "Daddy, why do the crystal people look so worried?" She walked into the chamber and Captain walked beside her. The little dog's tail was wagging and he looked friendly and happy. "Are you okay?" Dasam asked the nearest alien, which happened to be Christmaven. "You look scared." The crystal, being stared down at the small human child. "We are not scared, small human." "Oh, good." Dasam smiled. Captain doesn't like it when people are scared. He tries to make them feel better. As if to prove her point, Captain approached Christmaven and sat down in front of him. The little dog tilted his head and made a small, friendly sound. "He wants to say hello," Dasam explained. "You can pet him if you want, he's very soft." Every being in the chamber held their breath. A human child was encouraging an alien to touch what they believed was a dangerous predator. "I do not think that is wise," Christmaven said carefully. "Why not?" Dasam asked. "Captain loves meeting new people. Don't you, Captain?" The little dog's tail wagged harder, and he made happy panting sounds. Dr. Na Kyung-soo, who had been quietly watching from the side, stepped forward. He was an animal behaviorist who had been brought to the station to help explain human-pet relationships. "Council members," he said calmly, "would you allow me to demonstrate something?" The voice of the council spoke uncertainly. "What do you wish to demonstrate?" "How humans and animals actually communicate," Dr. Na replied. He knelt down next to Dasam and Captain. "Dasam, can you show the council members some of Captain's tricks?" "Sure," Dasam said happily. She looked down at Captain. "Sit, Captain." Immediately sat down, looking up at her with bright, happy eyes. "Good boy," Dasam praised him. "Now lie down." Captain lay down on the floor, still watching her face. "Roll over." Captain rolled over and then back to his belly, tail wagging the whole time. The aliens watched in fascination. The child was giving commands, and the predator was obeying instantly. But both the human and animal looked happy about it. "Now watch this," Dr. Na said. "Dasam, pretend to be sad." Dasam's face changed to look sad, and she sat down on the floor. Immediately, Captain got up and came to her. He put his head in her lap and made soft, worried sounds. His tail stopped wagging as he focused on comforting her. "He knows she's sad," Dr. Na explained to the stunned aliens. "Watch what he does." Captain gently licked Dasam's hand and pressed against her side. He stayed very still and quiet, just being close to her. "He's making her feel better," Silthera observed, her ghostly voice filled with wonder. "Now watch this," Dr. Na continued. "Dasam, be happy again." Dasam smiled and hugged Captain. "Good boy. You're such a good boy." Captain's tail exploded into wagging. He licked her face gently and made happy sounds. Both the child and dog were clearly joyful. "They're communicating." Buzzaketh clicked slowly. "The animal understands the human's emotions and responds to them," Christamaven added. "It wants to help her feel better." Dr. Na nodded. "This is how it works. Humans and animals learn to understand each other. We read their body language, they read ours. We learn what makes them happy, they learn what makes us happy." "But how?" Silthera asked. How do you teach a predator to care about human emotions? We don't teach them to care, Dr. Na explained. They already care. We just learn to understand each other. He demonstrated. More. He showed how Captain knew when Dasam was tired and would bring her his blanket, how he could tell when she was excited and would play with her, how he watched other people to see if they were friends or strangers. The animal is reading social cues, Buzzketh realized. It understands complex social situations. He's smart, Dasam said proudly. All dogs are smart. They understand lots of things. But most importantly, Dr. Na said, they choose to cooperate. Watch this. He opened the chamber doors wide. Captain, you can leave if you want to. Captain looked at the open doors, then at Dasam, then back at the doors. He could clearly leave whenever he wanted. Instead, he walked back to Dasam and sat, down beside her. He chooses to stay with his human, Silthera whispered. Even when he could leave freely, Christmaven observed. Because he loves her, Dr. Na said simply. And she loves him. That's the secret. It's not control or manipulation. It's genuine affection between two different species. Engineer Lim Gite, who had been watching quietly, stepped forward. Council members, this is what we've been trying to tell you. Humans don't control animals. We become friends with them. Friends. Buzzketh repeated the word carefully. Partners, Lim continued. We work together because we want to, not because we have to, just like we hope to work with all of you. He gestured to the chamber around them. This is the same thing, isn't it? Different species trying to understand each other and find ways to cooperate? The three elder races looked at each other, then at the small human child sitting happily with her dog, then at the human diplomats who had been trying so hard to explain their culture. You are saying, Silthera said slowly, that your ability to bond with predators could extend to bonding with us? That's what we hope, Ambassador Deho said, stepping forward. Humans have always believed that any species can be friends if they try to understand each other. Dasam looked up at the adults. Are you going to be friends now? Captain wagged his tail hopefully, as if he understood the question. The silence in the chamber lasted for a long time. Finally, Christmaven's crystal body began to glow softly. Perhaps we have misunderstood human nature. Perhaps, Buzzketh clicked thoughtfully, the ability to form bonds across species barriers is not a threat, but a gift. Perhaps, Silthera added, we could learn from this ability. The voice of the Council spoke carefully. The Galactic Council will reconsider humanity's application for membership. Dasam smiled brightly. Does that mean we can be friends? She looked at Captain, who wagged his tail as if he approved of the idea. Yes, small human, Christmaven said, and for the first time his voice sounded warm. I think we can be friends. As the formal session ended, the aliens found themselves staying to watch Dasam and Captain play. They began to understand that the bond between humans and animals wasn't about power or control. It was about love, trust, and the simple desire to make each other happy. And maybe they thought that was exactly the kind of species the galaxy needed.